It was a day like any other, but then disaster struck. I reached behind me, but my cup found nothing but the air. It hit the floor, and I asked God why. Why didn't I just build a table there? I'm going to show you guys how to build a very simple, very easy console table with minimal tools as well. But the principles in this video can be applied to really a lot of tables. Let's get to it. Wait a minute. Aren't you guys tired of seeing people dimension lumber on the internet? Now that's better. After milling all my pieces, I like to lay them out in a way that sparks the most joy. Then I draw an arrow in one direction and number the pieces so that I can easily reorder them if needed. I grabbed every clamp that I own, and then some more, and began laying my pieces into the clamps. Then I applied the glue and clamped up using cawls to keep everything as flat as possible. After the glue dried, I wanted to find the fastest way to disengage all of the clamps, preferably in one fell swoop if I could. So I grabbed my stepladder, I climbed up over the table, and utilized a biotic elbow. And this worked perfectly. If your table isn't as skinny as mine, you could definitely use pocket holes to assemble the whole base. But because of how skinny my table is, I wasn't able to get my drill in at the right angle to engage the pocket hole screws. So I had to switch to a different plan and decided to use dowels instead to assemble the base. After drilling all my holes, I used these handy little dowel centers to mark a corresponding point on the other parts of my base. This made it super easy to drill out all the dowel holes without having to measure and lay out each hole. In this instance, the less you have to rely on measurements, the lesser your chance of error. I'll link the dowel centers in the description if anybody's interested. To ensure an easy glue up, you need to dry fit all your pieces together with the dowels in them before you add the glue. Before the glue. Glue makes those dowels swell almost immediately, and that will leave you very little time to work with them at that point. After you've glued your pieces together, just add clamps and you are good to go. After running the board through the planer, I used my belt sander to remove all of the snipe from the board. Then I sanded up to 220 grit using my orbital sander and some hand sanding. I attached the stretcher between the legs. Then I drilled recessed pockets for my figure 8 fasteners, which are also linked in the description, to sit in using a Forstner bit. Then I laid out the top on the base and fastened everything together. Normally at this point, this is where I would add finish, but my client specifically asked for this piece to be unfinished, so I delivered. While this is a really simple table, I hope it shows you guys that furniture doesn't always have to be so complicated. Sometimes you just need to get back to the basics of things. Sometimes simple is just going to be the best. If you guys enjoyed this video or liked my crappy wrestling moves, check out my coffee table build video here or this other video that I've chosen just for you.